So today on Malacot Radio, I have with me a fantastic, multi-talented singer, songwriter and composer, Prabhath Nanayakara, otherwise known as the solo artist Serendib. Prabhath, Serendib, how are you doing?
I'm very well. Thanks for the invitation. Very nice of you to ask me to come and join.
Oh, great to have you. Great to have you. Well, we love your music at Malacot Radio.
Thank you.
The interesting thing about you is you're not just an amazing musician, but you are also a professor of internal medicine at the Amsterdam University Medical Centre. Isn't that right?
Yes, I'm the professor of acute internal medicine in Amsterdam University Medical Centre, and I head up the section general internal medicine in Amsterdam University Medical Centre. That's one of the biggest centres in the Netherlands. Yeah,
I believe so. I looked it up. Yeah, fantastic. Well, internal medicine. I mean, it's obviously it's a very, very, very complex, broad discipline. My own very, very brief, basic understanding of it, and please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. This is to the non-medical mind. Isn't it the diagnosis and the treatment of medical conditions which are non-surgical?
Yes, it's like internal medicine is the basis of medicine, because even the surgeons have to use principles of internal medicine when they treat patients. So what I do is I see lots of patients with tertiary referrals. People don't know what they're having, so they get medical mysteries come to us. Mm-hmm. And also, of course, you have routine care, acute care at the ED, acute medical unit, diabetes, sometimes diagnosis of cancer, infectious diseases, COVID. We have treated lots of COVID patients also. So it's very general, it's very broad. That's why that's what makes it interesting for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And would you say that your musical career has been influenced by the practice of medicine?
Yes, but I think my musical career is more influenced by my life than the practice of medicine. Yeah. And so I think the music is mostly influenced by my experience as a Sri Lankan, born there, going through a war there, fleeing to Holland, getting lots of help from people, studying, struggling, and eventually come so far as to become the professor and a researcher also with lots of publications and all that. Yeah.
Absolutely, yes. Because again, I mean, I'm no historian at all, but I'm aware that there was a war in Sri Lanka around about 30 odd years ago. Wasn't it between certain ethnic groups and the Sri Lankan government, and you fled that war and you managed to get to Holland?
Yes, the war started in '83. That's between Tamils and majority Sinhalese government, which went on for a long time. Mm-hmm. Luckily, it stopped about 10-15 years ago. The peace has returned, and also people are having a peaceful life now. I left in 1989 during the height of the civil war in the north, and also a civil unrest in the south from communist. So it was a bit of a mess.
Yeah.
But now things have returned to normal. But unfortunately, the COVID is hitting India really hard, and also Sri Lanka is also a bit, on the edge. So, but except for that, things are quite okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you arrived in Holland in 1980, sorry, 89. Did you speak any Dutch at all, or did
no,
you?
No.
Oh wow! So you didn't speak a word of my goodness.
No. So I studied Dutch. I had done 4 years and 8 months of medicine. I was waiting for my professorials. Maybe you know that you got to do professorials to get your MBBS. But I didn't finish that. So I just finished my MD. I first studied Dutch, got through the Dutch exams, and then into the university here. and did my MD, did a PhD, started doing lots of research, and that's how that's how it went.
Wow. My goodness.
Yeah, it was a long way. It was not easy.
Yeah.
But nothing is easy, right?
No, nothing is easy. But you seem like you have taken quite a lot of it in your stride, you know, and that sort of seems to come across quite well in your music also, because I've heard some other music, some other songs written about refugee crisis, and they're quite dark and dramatic and theatrical and very, very hard hitting. But when I heard your your songs, both of them, Mr. 63 and Nowhere to Go, obviously I could see what they were about, but they had such a nice vibe to them, and they were quite a good sort of prognosticator, I think, for what you're like in person. They did a good job of foretelling kind of what you're like. But yeah, they're
Yes, I have tried to combine very dark lyrics with lots of happy music
yes,
to neutralize it. So it's always I always try to write anthems of positivity.
mm-hmm.
But if you so even listen to Nowhere to Go, even Wake Up and Shine, which has
Yes, I
been
love that
streamed
one.
more than 600,000 times in Spotify, is also a very happy song, has a happy vibe. But if you listen to the lyrics, that has a bit of a dark aspect to it, and that's my experience.
Wake up and shine. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. Jump up and dance. Things will go your way. Things will go your way. All your troubles.
I have tried to use all my negative experience as positive as possible to go further in life, because negativity only drags you
It pulls
down.
you down, really, doesn't it? Yeah.
So music is a combination. I just recorded a song yesterday about the whole COVID crisis also, and I'll send it to you later. I think it will be done
Absolutely.
in about 6-7 weeks. And that's also a bit of, it's like COVID crisis was a wake-up call for lots of people, I think, especially politicians.
Mm-hmm.
And to us also, it was a very strange experience. Still we are in it, but it's getting better here, even also in England. And so it's a combination. You're right. So there's dark negativity,
Mm-hmm.
but also positive vibe to it. So that I want it to be an anthem of positivity.
Yes, I think you've definitely accomplished that mission.
Thank you. Yeah.
Definitely. Wake Up and Shine. I like to play that quite early on in my radio show. I think it's a really good one to start the show with.
Yeah.
I do like it. And your other song, another favorite of mine, is Melody of My Song.
Oh,
beautiful, very, very soulful. And I always thought that one would be a great one for a wedding.
You show me the way when the sun goes down. You spread your golden wings and you keep me warm. I look in your eyes, wondering what to say. Got to move to a land far, far away.
Yes, yeah, that's very poetic, and I know that it touches people a lot when I play it live, and especially just with the guitar, it has a very live feeling. But it's very poetic. I wrote the poem first, and then started writing the music, and we're really inspired by people like Bob Dylan, Paul Simon. Most of them are American, and this was a bit of a Paul Simon lyrics and a folky feel to it. So I like folk music, and that's how the song came about. Good to hear that you like it.
Love it.
I see that people love it when I play it live.
Yeah, I do. I absolutely love that one. And the other one that you wrote, Looking for Her, A Romantic Dream.
Yeah. Oh, funny that you know that song.
Yeah.
Because that's from the Bible.
Is it?
Because
really?
the Song of Solomon there's a book called Song of Solomon, which is a love song. And if you if you read the lyrics, I just took it as Songs of Solomon's.
It's funny that was lost on me, that it's about religion, because now that you've mentioned that, I remember hearing something about, there was some reference to Damascus.
Yeah. I just took it. The lyrics were taken out of Songs of Solomon's. Lots of lyrics. If you read it's a beautiful poem, Songs of Solomon. I'm not a religious person, but I have read the Bible a lot.
Yeah.
And so the Songs of Solomon's, when you read it, there are lots of descriptions. You know, I went wandering through the streets and we're looking for her. That's what the whole poem is about. It's a long poem. So I took words out of the poem. Of course, I wrote some things on my own also, but it was based on Songs of Solomon's. It's funny that you selected song. Yeah,
I do. I really like it.
You know, the chord structure there is pretty complex. So I had a complex chord structure, and then thought I need a lyrics for that, and then I just opened the Bible, and because a Bible, the rights are with God. So I just took it and wrote that song.
When you opened the Bible, did you sort of open the Bible at random, or did you open it at a certain part in the Bible?
At random, and then it ended up in Songs of Solomon's. You know, after I think I don't know which in the Old Testament, and then started reading it and loved the poems. You know, it's beautiful, romantic poems are there, and of course, when you go to the church, they don't interpret it that way, and I had all the freedom to interpret it. So it's a combination of Bible and just heathen music.
Yeah, of course. Tell me a little bit also about your song Almost Paradise.
Yeah, that's exactly about Sri Lanka.
Okay.
And Bob Marley had a song called Pimper's Paradise. You know, I don't know whether you know that. You know, it's like, and he was singing about Jamaica, and Almost Paradise is purely about Sri Lanka. You know, there's a song called Hoping to Find that has some Buddhistic, you know, it's like the Buddhists find that the life is just nirvana, nibbana is just nothingness. You want to achieve nothingness because the life is just only trouble and pain and suffering and sickness and all that. And Almost Paradise is like golden sands and the sunny skies, purple flowers and the butterfly, moonshine on the misty mountain heights. And it's all about Sri Lanka, the lazy days and the lullabies. And it describes me. It's like you're going to the so if you listen to the whole lyrics, it's all about Sri Lanka, how beautiful the country is, and how we have messed it up. You know, so it's almost paradise. It's paradise, but it's not there.
I get it. Yeah. When I normally, you know, when I hear of a solo artist, I wonder where what it was that inspired their name, their title. With you, it's Serendib. Now, I'm aware this is going to sound really daft, but I'm aware of the word serendipity and its meaning. And I thought, a serendipitous meeting. That in that case, that would be the adjective, because that would describe the meeting. Serendib, it's probably some kind of derivative of that. He probably, you know, maybe he'll tell me that he came upon his music career, because he had an unplanned but lucky meeting with someone who inspired him or something like that. But I couldn't have been more wrong, because Serendib, when I looked it up, I found that it was an old Persian name for Sri Lanka, which of course is the country of your birth. So
so the serendipity, the story is that there were 3 kings from Sri Lanka who went to the Middle East, and they ended up finding lots of positive and miraculous things accidentally. So that's how the serendipity comes from. So it's Sri Lanka, 3 kings, not kings, princes who went to the to Middle East, and they bumped into all kinds of very accidental, positive things, findings, and all that. And that's what I'm trying to do in my research career also, because lots of good things have been invented accidentally.
Yes.
And so Serendip is an old name for Sri Lanka. Serendipity is three kings from Sri Lanka who went out and then bumped into all kinds of positive things. It can be anything. And that's because I came here also accidentally. I was talking to somebody in a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I came here, so it was an accident. It was just a normal discussion for 10 minutes, and it became an accident. Accidentally, I just talked to them, and they liked what I did. They liked me, I think, and they helped me to come to Holland. So it has always been a coincidence. Everything I have done in my life has been a coincidence.
Yeah. So that was quite a what we could call quite a serendipitous meeting that you had with those people.
Yeah.
In the hotel. Yeah.
Definitely.
Wow.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier that your music has been inspired more by your life rather than your practice as a professor of internal medicine. What would you say in life has been your greatest teacher? Could be a person, could be an experience. I think education for you.
Yes. It's like in Sri Lanka. I was born a long time ago, 1963, which means that's how the Mr. 63 came about. We were really poor, and there were a couple of ways to get out of the poverty. You could be a good cricket player. Cricket is, and I'm not. Or you be a doctor, engineer, or accountant. That's it. And so my education, I could study. I was a good student.
Yeah.
Not a bad student. I think one of the best. And that was my liberation. It's like when you're in ghettos in America, they say basketball is your liberation.
Yeah.
For me, it was education.
Yeah.
And so I have this now. I have a good job. I don't work for money. It's my hobby also, and I get a good salary, which means that I can also spend time, my free time, creating music, spending money on it, and not earning much out of it, but lots of satisfaction.
Yes, of course.
So because Spotify, there are lots of people criticize Spotify, but for me, that was just fantastic because my music is listened in more than 70 countries in the world through Spotify and all that. And if that was not there, we would have never got a chance to distribute our music,
Yeah.
So on the one hand, they don't pay much, but still you can use the platform to reach your audience and bring the message across, which is very good.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mr. 63, I did wonder what it was that inspired the title of that song, but it's the year that you were born.
Yeah, 63. I think I was born because now I'm a Dutch citizen, but if you have a Sri Lankan passport, when you carry the passport, every airport, everywhere you go, you have to tell them what you're going to do, because when you come to the passport, when you come to the Duana, the immigration office, they always ask you, what are you going to do? What are you doing there? Now it's not there because I got a Dutch passport. And the Mr. 63 is almost every discussion I had with them on paper. It's like, so if you listen to the song, you will see what I say is they'll ask you lots of questions when you're carrying such a passport and when you're poor. But if you got the money, nobody will ask you any questions.
Hey, Mr. 63, how are you today? First let me check your papers and your passport too. Tell me, what are you up to today?
You show them a couple of million dollars or pounds or euros, you end up anywhere in the world. You know what I mean? So that's a bit of the message. Welcome to the no man's land is, no man's land is where we always stand between two countries,
Mm-hmm.
When you're not allowed. I mean, lots of them. You say lots of people waiting to come to England in France and all that. That's their story also.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that they're wrong or somebody else is wrong. I'm just describing it.
Yes, absolutely. It's fantastic that medicine, you get such a love for medicine, and it's not just your job, it's your hobby. It's something that you're very passionate about. I think I read a quote of yours not so very long ago. Didn't you say that medicine is in your heart and music is in your soul?
Yes.
Something like that. I can see they both work sort of, in collaboration in a way. I mean, they're both very healing. Medicine heals the body. Music, I've always thought, heals the soul. So have you found that music has been a good escapism for you as well from some of the pressures posed by the medical practice?
Yes, more than medical practice, life. Medical practice, even it's empathy. Yeah? I mean, patients mostly, on the one hand, you cure them, but on the other hand, you are there for them when they need you in one of the most difficult times. And so the pressures of medicine. I don't care much about all this bureaucracy and all that. I do my work. I try to make it as enjoyable, interesting, and helpful as possible. Mm-hmm. The problems with life, when you go out of the hospital, and to cope with them, the music has helped me a lot. Yeah. Because when I came here, nobody knew who I was, and I mean, it was not easy. You can understand, when you come to a different country, you don't speak the language, you have no money. You have no future perspectives. I just came here to survive, and then the music helped. And I stopped playing music for a long time because I thought nobody's interested. And then, but a couple of years ago, I started writing again, and when Wake Up and Shine and all, they came and people were starting listening to the song, and also I got lots of reactions even from US, UK, and now at the moment Seychelles is listening to it. I don't know why, it's a small country also, and that gives you lots of satisfaction. Yeah. And then you write more and more and more, and I lose my frustration goes to the music, so that I can be nice to my patients and my people around me. Mm-hmm. And that's the power of music, Yes. Yeah. Do you have a favorite song at all? Of all the songs that you've written, composed, performed, do you have a favorite one, or do you love them all with equal measure? No, I'm very proud of Mr. 63. Mr. 63. Because I think, one day I wrote it. How did I write it? There are some very, if you and because this was also the guitar riffs were played by a guy called Peter Boltzmann. I don't think you know him, but there was a band called New Adventures in 70s, and they had lots of hits in Germany and all that. Mm. And this guy is a fantastic guitar player, but he lost his way. They lost all their money and all that. I met him. I met him in Holland, and that I was talking to him, and he was not playing any guitar. And suddenly he started playing guitar, and he played guitar for this song. Mm-hmm. In his home studio, we recorded it, mm-hmm. and the guy started playing after that also, mm-hmm. Performing and all that. So I don't think I'll be able to record this version ever again with another guitarist. So the music is also different. We just recorded it at home. I played the acoustic guitar. Somebody else played the drums in his home studio, and then we sent to the guitarist. He played and all that. So there was also lots of good combination. Yeah, I'm very happy about that song. Yeah, and of course, Wake Up and Shine, I'm very happy about also. Wake Up and Shine is a great song. They're all fantastic, and I do love melody of my song. I love that one. I play it as often as I can. Yeah. You mentioned earlier there was a brief period of your life where you stopped playing music. Yeah.
How long did that last? Was that a year, a few years?
No, it's 2 years, 2 years. Because in the beginning it was very difficult here. I had no money.
Yeah.
I didn't know many people,
Hmm.
and I was not sure whether people. It's like when you play music, when you write songs, you want people to listen to it.
Yeah.
Do you
Yes, of
understand?
course. Yeah, yeah.
And if you have feeling that, oh, nobody's listening, nobody cares about your music, then you stop writing.
Mm.
And the might of the social media now is that you can just write and you can play and you can put it in the media, and sometimes people pick it up, sometimes not, but still you have put it out in the
Yeah,
open,
yeah.
and when you're not there, I just stopped playing guitar and all that for a long time. But I played a bit,
Mm.
but not much. But now I have met some very good musicians from South America, and you'll see that there's a song called "You," which is very South American, and it was all played by South American musicians. And so yeah, I stopped playing. I missed it, and it's like I say. I don't know whether you know rubber balls. When we were small, we used to play cricket with rubber balls,
Hmm.
and you can put a rubber ball under water and keep it underwater for a long time. But as soon as you let it go, it comes back again.
Hmm.
It's something like music is also like that.
Yeah.
You can always just push it away and say, I don't want to play it anymore because it's not my thing.
Yeah.
When you write music, but it comes back. It
Yeah.
comes back to haunt you, and then you start writing again.
I think that is quite typical for a lot of artists and creatives, whether they're actors, writers, musicians, singers, songwriters, comedians even. I think a lot of people in the arts, well, not just the arts, but in every discipline, in every walk of life, we all have our, moments of ebb and flow. But I think it's quite easy for an artist to lose track, but then
Yep,
find their way back again. Yeah.
yeah. I lose track. Yeah, exactly. You just wonder why you do this,
Mm.
and so in that way, most interesting people I have met lots of doctors, professors, researchers, and I work with lots of people also from UK, US, all over the world. But the most interesting people I have met are the musicians and creative musicians. So I like musicians, and I try to pay them properly also when they pay my songs and all that, because those are not very rich people. Most of them are not,
Yeah, yeah.
and they are trying to survive. The best musicians don't break through.
Mm-hmm.
Like so, so most interesting people are creative people. I like them.
Yeah,
I like artists. I like musicians. I like comedians. You said,
yeah.
yeah, we always think and think and think and come up with something. And hopefully, sometimes it's nice and sometimes it's not. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm very much looking forward to hearing your song about COVID.
Yes, I will send it to you. It's more about the political, the COVID exposed every hiatus in the social system. All the problems we have in the social systems in the countries were overexposed to COVID. You see that in India, what's happening? People are dying on the streets,
Mm-hmm.
and you saw in US what happened.
Mm-hmm.
The death, even in London and all that, there was a big problem during the second wave. So all the social problems we had were magnified by COVID, and COVID exposed everything. And eventually, the people who got most hit were people who were poor, who
Mm-hmm.
were bad off with their health and all that.
Yeah.
And those were symptoms of the uh, social problems we had. And so this song is more about that than
Okay.
COVID. So about what's going on at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
because it's a bit of a mess at the moment.
Yeah.
On the one hand, we are very everybody's locked down. We don't travel much, which creates a bit of rest also in people's minds. Or I think, but on the other hand, the whole social structure has been completely, how do you call it, control alt delete. We have just it looks like we're going to start all over again.
Mm-hmm.
And I think many people will forget this in a couple of months and go back to their old ways as soon as possible. Which
Yeah.
is my fear. So it's about that, the song.
So how old were you? When did you start? When did your musical career begin then? Were you always very musical from a young age? And were you self-taught?
Yeah, I was in a Buddhist college called Ananda College in Colombo in Sri Lanka. That's one of the biggest Buddhist institutes in Asia. I got in there through a scholarship. I mean, you'll understand the scholarship scheme. Wow. So when I was young, and then I started playing Eastern music, bamboo flute,
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But we had a radio. We didn't have television then.
Yeah.
And in the radio, you only heard Jim Reeves and Pat Boone and all that shit. It was small, and then so I didn't know much about pop music. I started learning about pop music when I was about 19. I think it's funny. I mean, we got the first television set came to Sri Lanka in 1978. So late,
I'm sorry. What was that?
1978. We got the first television.
Okay.
In Sri Lanka, 77, 78. And then you were exposed to this pop music. And then I started playing guitar because I happened to listen to Paul Simon once in a very far away place in Sri Lanka. And I really loved it. Yeah. And then started listening to pop music. And that's how. So I was not born with pop music and came to pop music later in life.
Okay. Yeah.
So no, that's so it's serendipity. You find something.
Yeah.
and then you. But I simply love pop music. I really love not only pop, rock, everything, rap, rock, and African music.
Yeah.
Especially
it's so replenishing music.
The African, especially the fragility of their voice. I love them. When you listen to African music, you hear their pain, you feel their pain.
Yeah.
And so that. So I started playing guitar when I was 19, which is pretty late.
Okay, it's good to know that that you left it until you were 19, yet you're still very, very successful with it. I mean, I would quite like to learn the guitar myself, but I've been telling myself, no, I'm too old now. If you don't start learning when you're a small child, my fingers won't adapt to it or whatever. But it's inspiring to know that you started at 19.
Yeah. It's like I tell my students also, everything you learn in life, it helps you later. Yeah. Doesn't matter what. Because I have learned chemistry, physics, algebra, biology, everything. And sometimes I wondered what am I going to do with these things later. Everything you learn, it helps one day or the other.
Yes, absolutely. Education is never wasted.
No, it's never wasted.
Never lost.
No, it's never lost. And that's how it's with music also. If you start now, you will take your life experience with it. I mean, if you start writing or if you start composing or something, then you take your life experience with it, But to write a song is not that difficult, but to write a good song is pretty difficult. It's pretty difficult. And who decides what is good and what is not,
Yeah.
So you don't know who decides. I mean, you decide for me and I decide for myself. Sometimes the listener decide for that, and radio stations don't play. They're not very liberal, and I think what you do is fantastic.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah. Have you ever been compared? Have your audiences ever compared you with a certain singer or songwriter? Has there ever drawn comparisons with you and I don't know, Bob Dylan or?
I have been told, which is a great honor, that I sing like Paul Simon.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I can see that. Yeah. The tone.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and
Similar,
the
very
which
similar
is
tones to Paul Simon. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and that of course is it's unworthy to be compared to such a great songwriter.
He's good.
But I have all his albums, everything,
Yeah.
and yeah. So that's the most that's the inspiration. You know, the soul inspiration is that. But you get. I mean, I listen to Bob Dylan a lot, and lots of other folk artists a lot, and lots of music, even rap and all that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
even the rap music has the very raw, angry
Mm-hmm.
vibe to it. Not
Yeah.
all the rap songs, but most of the time, which makes it also pretty
It
popular.
draws
And
you in. It makes you want to listen. It makes you want to know what is the story
yeah,
there.
what's
Yeah.
the story, and that's a bit of a problem now, because I think in Europe, especially, maybe less in UK, house music is very popular because it's all only the beat. There's no story to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in England it's different. I think they listen to the lyrics a lot, of not a lot, but more to the lyrics than in Europe. In Europe, it's mostly, and in America also, lots of Americana, the songwriters, they have some message to say, but there are lots of things going on in America. You have lots of things to write about,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah. So I think. I've been inspired by Paul Simon, and people tells me, "Hey, you sing like him."
Yes.
Uh,
I can hear that sort of similarity. Yeah, you get similar tones in your voice. Yeah.
that's nice.
Mm. So what other life experiences have you sort of had that you think may have influenced your music, your songwriting?
um, yeah, um, the loss is always difficult. I mean, when you lose something, when you lose your country, or you lose your family members, you lose your friends,
Mm-hmm.
because when I came here, I lost. I was like unrooted from my whole life,
Of course, yeah.
and the friends I had at school, my family, my sister. Well, I got a sister in Australia. I got a sister in Dubai. Another one in Sri Lanka. So we don't see each other very often,
Mm.
and that has inspired me. Of at least that's not easy. It's not
Mm-hmm.
at all easy. And I went through a very painful divorce a couple of years ago, which is
Mm.
also
Lost.
color your life. And
Mm.
then you realize, oh yeah, hey, I have no roots here,
Mm.
and it has come back again. When but when you look at I mean, exactly. Probably you always pass the school you went to,
Yeah.
or the shops or the streets you were playing at.
Mm.
I don't have that.
Mm.
It's not like. But I got a second home when I came here. That was my hospital. I have
Yeah.
been there now for 26 years. There in that
Yeah.
hospital, I feel home there. But
Yeah.
still, you lose your roots and all that, and that creates this. That creates this, and I see lots of course, COVID. People are very worried that you see lots of people dying and all that. But that was always, in our case, that was always so in the hospitals, because I'm an acute physician.
Mm-hmm.
But the difference with COVID and normal situation was, the COVID was lots of sick people, and lots of sick people coming to the hospital at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And then you saw more people dying. But that was overwhelming, but not, it's like business as usual, but more intensive.
Yeah.
And so that was not a big thing, because it was your life. That you're used to that, and it was painful to see people dying, and also especially now what's happening in India and all that. Painful to see that you can't do much for them, except give them some oxygen and give them some dexamethasone or something. But those were just business as usual.
Yeah.
But personal strategy. I I have lots of patients who I know for sometimes 30 years. And when one of those patients die, I still feel bad.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I still feel it's completely different ball game. Then you really feel, oh, what happened?
Yeah.
And so so what you said, um, you know, I think it's all a part of life.
It is. Yeah.
Eventually,
Loss and death is a part of life. It's an inevitable part of life, really, isn't it?
yeah, that's what Buddhists say.
Is it?
That's what Buddhists say. So what Buddha said is life is painful, getting old is painful, getting sick is, and then eventually you die. And that's why you should not you should not expect too much from life. My motto has been, I'm very ambitious, but I know that I can fail. So I'm happy with what I have.
Yeah.
I want more, not financially, but I want a number one hit. I want more publications. I want to come up with new. But if I don't, I'm happy also.
Yeah, because if you don't, look at what you have achieved. Look at what the good that you have done. Look at the lives that you've saved and the medical conditions that you've treated and the songs that you've written, the people that you've entertained, all of that, everything that you have done is huge.
Yeah, so I think I told my students also ambition. It's like that's a modern day. It's like it's a bit of American to say everybody you got to get the maximum out of life and you got to do this. In my opinion, you got to have the optimum out of life. It's not the maximum. And of course you got to be ambitious. You got to be positive. You got to want to help people and all that. But you know that you can be dead tomorrow.
Yes.
It's very simple, and the world will not stop for you.
Yes, true.
Let's go forward. Yeah. Eventually, you'll be judged by how you treated other people.
Yes.
And so that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to be as good as kind, as helpful as possible. And at the same time try to see. So one of the things, if let's say I've been successful medically, I've been successful in my research line also. I got about 150 publications in PubMed, which is pretty
wow.
which is a lot for a guy who came here when I was 26. But and if I get a number one hit or something, that would be nice so that I can help people back home, or people who were struggling like me when I was young, without money, but with lots of talent, but nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And that will be nice. Further, the rest is just, footnote.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have any other ideas for songs that you might write in the future? Do you have sort of one idea at a time, or do you have sort of 10 songs in your head all at once? And
10 songs in my head all at once.
Really, you do?
And also there's no theme. Wake Up and Shine. If you look at Wake Up and Shine, it's a beautiful day. It started off with the trumpet solo. That's how it started. But the 4 verses describe 4 different things.
Okay.
It's like it's not one theme. The third theme you will like, maybe there I write, last night I had a dream where I was a king.
Yeah.
Feared and respected, wild and free. I was willingly wasting my time there, soaked in my own dreams, but I felt like I just wanted to scream.
Okay.
I wrote that when I saw the interview with Prince Harry.
Oh, really? Wow.
So I was thinking, hey, you are a king, but I don't think you're happy. This was during that 3-4 years ago when there was in the news, and that was I was listening to that story in BBC.
So that song, would you say that song was written sort of introspectively? almost as if you were writing it, you were kind of advocating for Prince Harry.
Yeah, I was like, poor guy. He's got everything. He looks like he's enjoying it, but I don't think he just wanted to scream.
Yeah.
That's what I think. He just wanted to scream because he's frustrated there.
Yeah.
And you know, it's a and the next is whispers and mumble. No one else would hear. Secret forbidden. All my friends would fear. Sad and lonely, outrageous as I could be, I would sing this song until the blind will see. And if you think about it, it's not very happy.
Right. Okay. You know, you said earlier though, you write anthems that are, you know, they can be quite dark, but they've got an upbeat sort of vibe to it. You've definitely done that with "Wake Up and Shine."
Yeah. So tiny. Yeah.
I mean, I use that one a lot. I play it a lot at the early stages of my show because I think, right, this is upbeat. You know, it's a good one, good way to start off, and it always is. It's always great. You know, it's got that great vibe to it.
Yeah.
I will listen out more carefully for all of the lyrics next time because I've heard sort of, you know, I've heard them all. I know that the lyrics, you know, last night I had a dream, I was a king.
Yeah.
And then I didn't really sort of, you know, actively listen to all of the lyrics throughout the song, but I must do that.
Yeah. So that's about Prince Harry.
Yeah.
I was just listening to his story and I was thinking, hey, so you were willingly wasting your time there, soaked in your own dreams, which is something else probably.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, seize the moment. Just enjoy what you have, and then seize the moment because it will be gone.
Yeah.
I mean, you see that now.
Yeah.
You know, it will be gone in no time, and then you have wasted your time with things which doesn't matter.
Professor Prabhath, you're a very wise man.
Thank you.
Very wise man.
Yeah, we do our best.
We do. But I'm very much looking forward to hearing your new releases when they come out.
I will send it to you.
So
You'll be the first one to receive it.
Oh, great. It's a great honor. Looking forward to that. Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks very much. This was a very nice interview. Thank you very much for being so kind.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Maybe see you again. Who knows? Maybe we'll have another interview with you at some point in the future.
It does. Certainly. Looking forward to it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All the best with your show and also with all what you do.
Oh, thank you. Professor Prabhath Nanayakara, otherwise known as solo artist Serendib.